show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mortgage Coach Tuesday interview. Every Tuesday for over a decade, we've been bringing leadership to the mortgage industry to help loan officers be more successful and to help lenders really institutionalize advice. Like price is the past, institutionalized advice. That's what we're all about here at Mortgage Coach. I've got my partner with Sales Boomerang, Alex, the CEO of Sales Boomerang with me.
Good morning, everyone on the Facebook world.
Where are we, buddy?
Oh man, we're in Anaheim, California right now. See lots of little not bunny ears, Mickey Mouse ears walking around. A lot of goofy T-shirts and stuff, and smiling faces.
We call my T-shirt goofy?
No.
All right. So guys, we are at the Mortgage Innovators Conference in Anaheim, California, with some of the best technology platforms in the country. And we thought, like, what a great way to celebrate the mortgage industry and talk about what is the optimized modern mortgage tech stack. We wanted to bring it back to you guys because we're watching the sessions and we're actually speakers at this event. So Todd, I'm going to hand off the reins to you to co-host today's call. Actually for you and Deborah to co-host it, and Alex and I will be guests today.
Well, it's exciting. I felt like I missed you guys. I was gone on Friday, and it's been a while since I've missed hanging out with all of you on a call. And it's great to see you guys in Anaheim. I hope you get to go over and ride some rides, but certainly excited to kick it off. And once that, of course, I got to welcome my co-host, Deborah. What's going on, Deborah Bird?
Good morning. We need some smiles on here. Y'all wake up.
That's right.
Come on, I'm awake. Listen,
Yeah, good.
I can totally wake up. And I
Let's
can't
get
ride the
Alex's
ride.
shirt.
There's a height limit for rides, and I just never actually make it.
Oh, come on now.
Oh, boom, boom, boom.
Alex, let me
But
see your
rides are
shirt.
not on the agenda. Rides are not on the agenda.
The sweetest combination. Come on.
Ooh, I
That's
like
sweet.
it. Looks good.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Now this is
Yeah.
a limited edition.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
we could put this in the store, Todd, maybe just have like 100 of these.
Yeah.
The sweetest edition.
We should sign them.
Ooh, I like that.
Signature,
All right.
yes.
all right, we'll definitely keep that in mind. So, all right, so let's kick off. So you're at the Mortgage Innovators Conference, right? So you're at a conference that's all about innovation. The two of you will be speaking. So kind of what's the premise? You decided, hey, we're going to talk about the ultimate tech stack today. So why don't you kick it off, Dave, with what your thoughts are on that?
Yeah. So in preparing for the presentations here, lots of interviews that I've done with mortgage executives just to get it right. Like they're bringing us here to talk about, where is the tech stack today and what is the tech stack of 2025 and 2027. So that I put, a lot of time, a lot of research into where are we at, but I think it's important to know where we're at. We need to know where have we come from, because what Alex and I have both aligned around is we're at a moment in the mortgage industry where it's time to flip the script. Like the script of how technology has been designed, implemented, and rolled out in the mortgage industry. It's time to flip the script and like a radical shift in how a loan officer should look at their tech stack and how an executive should look at their tech stack. So I'll get to the pivot in about 20 minutes. So stay tuned on that, guys. And bear with me. Some of this stuff is going to be this. Although for you new loan officers, this will be a little history lesson on what it used to be like to be a loan officer. So I'm going to share my screen. If for whatever reason you're not seeing my slides, let me know. All right. So in reflecting on this, I actually wanted to go back and see what interest rates were when I started in the mortgage business. And I started in August of 1986, and interest rates were 10.625 at little over 2 points. And guys, I'm not going to show this next chart, but it was like this for a few years. Like rates didn't really start dropping into the 8s and off of the 10s for a while. And I got into the business when in the 2 years before I got in, rates were like above 15%. So I thought I missed everybody that was in the mortgage industry. I thought like I missed it. Like they all bought houses, they killed it. And I'm like, shit, I got in 2 years too late. Little did I know. But guys, when I was trained on how to take an app and do a 1003, I was this is it, guys. It was a yellow sheet of paper. You'd sit across from a client, you'd ask them questions, you calculate payments with an HP 12C, you write them on a piece of paper, and you'd like.
I don't even know what that is that you just said. An HP what?
Speaking a different language completely. Just
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, so I actually maybe we need to get an HP, like when we make the commercial,
Yeah.
little HP 12C. So guys, we closed a lot of loans like this, and a couple of years later, like years, not like the next year, the LOS came out, and instead of having to do a handwritten 1003 that then your processor would have to type out, it couldn't make any mistakes. I think you could have like a couple whiteouts, 1 or 2 whiteouts that you have to initial. Like, guys, this was a major innovation. That's how we used to do it. And then, guys, anyone who's in the mortgage business in the 80s and the 90s, we lived on fax machines, like product and pricing engine, optimal blue. What? No, it was like handwritten 1003,
Wow.
go your fax machine, go through all the different interest rates. And we were the product and pricing engine. Human beings were, guys. And so
Are we not going to talk about fax machines during our presentation?
yeah, you want to?
We're bringing it back, baby.
Dude, y'all should have brought one for a prop.
Yeah. Hey, Todd, when did you start? I can't remember what year you started.
I started 2001, so pagers were still a thing, and but yeah, fax machines. But we didn't have, email was just coming around. So I definitely
Hey, did
keep
y'all
going.
not-
Eventually, I'll catch up to where you started,
Yeah.
or to where you're going in the
Y'all not
presentation.
email and attach? Like
Yeah,
that
no,
wasn't,
email attachments. I mean, that was not a thing yet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to fast forward because this was the first pivot. Like we're at pivot number 2, and what the punchline is, when we flip the script, what we're going to share is as important as this date. And this date was important. 2007 is when the digital age shift started. The iPhone was held up. We didn't exactly know what the smartphone was yet, but guys, this is what created the shift in the mortgage and real estate space, where it used to be a consumer couldn't find a home without a realtor. And now, before you know it, guys, the consumer is the king.
Mhm.
Didn't quite happen in 2007, but within a couple of years, the consumer became the king. And then the industry has just kind of followed a combination of technology and consumer demand. So while Zillow was founded in 2004, the iPhone and called the mobile revolution is what turned searching for home into home entertainment, right?
Absolutely.
Like, does your family, even though you have now found a home and you're good, but you guys still like just for entertainment purposes?
Are you kidding me? All the time.
Look at what
Drive
houses are
past the
worth.
neighborhood. We're like, ooh, that's a nice neighborhood. Let's just see. Yeah, it's definitely part
It's
of
entertainment, guys.
Most definitely.
And here's the deal, guys.
Well, it's like having a not a crystal ball, but it's like having a telescope that looks inside people's lives without ever having to meet them, know them, talk to them, and you're just like getting insights into how other people are living and what their life may feel or look like, and that is exciting, right? Like you always just have that curiosity as a human being. Here's Zillow giving you that sort of that insight that you didn't have, and it is entertaining. It's just kind of fun.
It is, and I want to give you some breadcrumbs to where this pivot's going to come. It's data and its presentation in a way that creates value and insight for a consumer.
Yes.
So this innovation in this script got flipped and started using it, but the way we've looked at it, the mortgage industry as loan officers and as lenders, it's not like we owe data and presentation and we just went there. What we kept doing is we kept incrementally improving the mortgage, called the mortgage manufacturing process.
Mm.
So guys, this is when the arms race that started. Like we're at this, like before the rocket went off in a Super Bowl commercial in 2016, there was no digital mortgage conference. There was no mortgage innovators conference.
Mhm.
There was MBA Tech. So MBA Tech was the one place where technologists would meet, but it was all around the back end. It was all around LOS, POS. Well, wait a minute, guys. Actually, POS was not a term yet.
No.
Like this was the beginning of the point of sale experience. So Blend, Simple Nexus, all of those point of sales, those hadn't even been thought of yet. They weren't even created. But the rocket went off and everybody said push button, get loan, fill out app on mobile, and Blend. Just an array of fintech money coming to the mortgage space. Guys, whether you like Rocket and Quicken or not, they've been awesome. Like this was a wake up call to the industry. This brought in a lot of money into the industry. Oh, push button, get loan. And Quicken was also starting to create some pretty clever, funny, I think their commercials have won the Super Bowl a couple times. So
Hey,
really
Dave, real quick, let me just say something real quick, because that's a perspective that everyone needs to have something different. I don't hear too many people in our space say Quicken Rocket is awesome. And you just said to all of us that we need to view it differently. So be mindful, right? So Dave is obviously an innovation leader in the mortgage space, and he's trained us all to do business differently with Mortgage Coach and to think differently. And I know, after the last Super Bowl, you all made fun of the Rocket commercials. I know that people all the time, that's like the punching bag of our mortgage space. And here's someone who we all look up to and respect saying they're awesome and they've done a lot for us.
Well, it also reminds me of, have y'all seen those Capital One commercials recently about how easy it is to buy a car, where they're like just at the desk and they can get their pre-approval, and then she like opens the blinds and the car's right there. Have y'all seen that?
I don't watch too much TV.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
So it's like,
I love those commercials. Very powerful commercials.
And I'm going to hand it off to Alex in about 10 more minutes, and he's going to talk. There's even a strategy that we have around getting to the auto loan and how we can make that valuable for the mortgage space.
One of my favorite conversations.
But again, guys, the theme, there's data and there's presentation. And then there's what we're in the industry, prior to this. And I remember, I actually need to put the slide in where I was on stage in 2019 on stage. And we were trying to get adoption of point of sale. Mm-hmm. So, it was just a couple of years ago, guys, like 2019, where it was all about, hey, let's get loan officers and consumers to use these digital links to fill out the app.
Yeah.
And then, guys, look at this. Keller Williams, largest real estate company in the world, in the mortgage business. Redfin's in the mortgage business. And you guys have seen this before, but I want to walk through one more time because I just want to connect the dots to this, just how much the industry is changing. Actually, that slides out of space. So here we are, guys. Right now, we are in 2022, and we are in the digital age shift. And lots of logins, but guys, that is going to change. And actually the number 2025, multiple times from stage, people are really like 2025 is the finish line of where integrations are coming together, digital presentations are coming together. And we're going to talk about how we're going to flip the switch. Like if you, as a loan officer and the lender you work for, want to turn technology into a competitive advantage, we're going to make a thesis. We need to think about it differently. Instead of we're a loan manufacturing technology platform, done a great job with that. And just continuing to automate that. You have to do it, but it's not a competitive advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You want to create a competitive advantage? You need to approach everything different. And we're going to share what that is in just a second here. So I've talked about this stage countless times. If you're new to the Mortgage Coach stage, this stands for what Amazon and Zillow can't do. And when I interviewed Scott Brown, the former futurist of Intel, and I asked him, what does the mortgage industry need to do? What does the real estate industry need to do? He's like, they need to do what specialty retailers do. And if you were a specialty retailer and you did do what Amazon can't do, you're either out of business or you're losing market share.
Mm-hmm.
If you've done what Amazon can't do, like Nordstrom's, where you go into a Nordstrom's, they don't have what you want in stock, they can look it up. You can say, hey, you could go get it at a store 4.5 miles away or a store 6.7 miles away, or I can click a button, ship to you. So they're doing what Amazon can't. And here's the deal, guys. We're in housing. We do Amazon and Zillow can't do if you're a local, referral-based, modern mortgage professional. So this is where it's time to start thinking of things differently. And what I would make the case for is there's two things you need to do. First of all, you need to re-envision who you are as a mortgage professional. Go, I am not a loan manufacturing app taker, loan fulfillment person. I close loans on times. I close loans fast. Because those are table stakes. Those requirements to be in the mortgage business, not an advantage. What is a competitive is when you can use technology and you can use purpose, like change your purpose. Purpose is not just to close a loan on time. It's the financial well-being of your customer. It's the financial freedom of your customer. It's you take personal responsibility that every time they get into debt, they get into the right type of debt, get into the smart debt, whether their home loan, whether that's their car loan, whether that's their student loans, whatever that is, your job is to optimize all of their debts so that they can achieve financial freedom faster. That is the new way that if you want to create technology, to do a competitive advantage, you need to think about this. And you need to build the technology from the team, care about their well-being, account every one of their liabilities. So now what, guys? It's all about data. It all starts with data. And this is what most loan officers' database looks like. This is what most real estate agents' database looks like. But guys, this is not what Rocket Mortgage's database looks like. This is not what Zillow's database looks like. This is not what Amazon's database looks like. This is what it looks like, guys. Does not look like this. It looks like this.
Yeah.
The biggest fintech players, the disruptors, this is what their database looks like. And so they can take action on that data in a smart way. So first of all, every modern mortgage platform must see their data in a way that helps them predict when someone's going to do a loan. Like our job is not just to do a transaction. Our job, every lender's job, needs to anticipate when a consumer can improve their debt, whether that's mortgage debt, whether that's auto debt, whether that's student loan debt, whether that's credit card debt. We need to build technology so that we have data and that we can give the right presentation at the right time to create a client for life. So two things, data and then presentation. So guys, this is how most of the industry still quotes rates. This is not modern. This is not a digital link. This is not education. This does not have video piped into it. This doesn't integrate with a CRM so that when a family clicks on it, I get an alert in my CRM and I can call them. Guys, data and presentation.
This actually scares people. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but that document for most of us scares us.
Yeah.
Like we just know that, I'm the dumbest in the room now because I don't know what this says and I don't want to feel dumb. So if as long as you're telling me what I think is the truth, I'm just going to go ahead with it. And people are not making informed decisions, making decisions almost out of fear of not making a decision.
Or just based on the trust that the loan officers built. But it's not turning technology into a competitive advantage. You're relying on your, call it the art and science. So you're relying purely on your art as a human being, which guys, no problem with that. Like be a great human being that's trusted. And if you can be a great human being that's trusted, you can win with this. Guys, you can win a lot more with a presentation like this.
Most definitely.
So this is actually, Keller actually became a mortgage client we rolled out last week. And this is what, and Keller, they're smart. They've got the best data. They investing in the right presentations so that when their loan officers don't quote rates, deliver mortgage strategies, they're helping families make more informed decisions. Guys, this is the mortgage coach community. So I'm going to spend a little time on this, but I just want to make the point that we are in an era that's driven by data, that's driven by presentation, and guys, an era that's also driven by integrations. Like the way we have innovated the pricing engine. The pricing engine used to just be a place where you could get the price of the loan, but this is the optimal pricing engine. And this is not new. Like many of you on this have access to this optimal blue integration. We've had this for a while, but giving you the date, like, oh, I want to present this loan, and I want to present, click a button, and it's automated. This is the era of data, presentations, and integrations to help your workflow be more efficient and to help your consumers' workflow be more efficient. So I'm gonna, I think I've got another chapter there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take a break. First of all, any comments, anything I missed on that?
No, not about missing something, but what was interesting is in the slide, if we go, well, I can just talk about it. In a slide where you see the question marks over somebody's head, then you said, hey, the disruptors are
more. The disruptors database doesn't look like this. It looks like this, right? And I'll tell you what, that's no longer a disruption for them. That's for the companies that you see listed here and some others. This isn't a disruption. This is status quo now. Like we do business with people in our database that we know everything about. Like that's just everyday life. So the disruption is what's next, right? The disruption is the things that we're talking about. Is how do we take this what you're seeing now is part of the anticipation
By the way, I
of,
wanted to make sure you knew you had these slides too.
okay,
So if you want to pull up that most recent there.
okay, yeah, sure. So it's, the disruption now is what Dave just said. It's how do we now anticipate, okay? How do we take all of this information that we know and now we anticipate? I heard this from a world-class chef that the best service in a restaurant is the anticipation of your customers' needs and not the delivery of their requests. Think about that for a minute. Anticipating what the person is thinking about at the dinner table is the ultimate customer experience. And that's where we need to be as a, not need to be, let's just be clear, want to be, right? Where we want to be, because we are the customers of our own service. We want our lender partners. We want, as I like to say, our financial friends to be looking out for us and anticipating our needs and thinking about, is this seen on screen right now or not?
No.
Yeah.
You want me to show it?
Yeah, let's show that.
So I think, Dave, you've kind of proved the point, right? We all have to re-envision ourselves, right? So you said that was sort of step number one, was to re-envision it. And then you said kind of your premise was going to talk about how data and presentation create value and insight for the consumer. And obviously, if we're going to anticipate if that's going to be, a word that we're going to continue to play off of, obviously the data Sales Boomerang has is really going to be the tool for doing that, without any doubt.
No doubt. By the way, Deborah, anything you want to say or ask before we go into this kind of unpack this chapter a little bit more?
Just, looking at what's changing, but also looking at what's not changing. And when you look at how human behaviors even make decisions, you show that itemized fee worksheet. And we know all of you who've gone to Amplify, and little plug for Renee with his new book, but we've learned how important context and framing is. If you show me an itemized fee worksheet, my eyes are immediately going where? To fees. I'm looking at all these fees and all these numbers. And so you're putting a target on the framing of where you're going to have your clients making decisions from, which is then going to be from fear and lack of understanding versus the TCA link. So I just want to express how important framing and context is, while also living the purpose and proving the fact that if you're going to be in your client's life forever, how are you leveraging technology to have that? What did you say, Alex? The telescope into people's lives? I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
So I want to pile on with what Deborah said there real quick. So we're going to do this call, and it is around the modern tech stack, but I can't emphasize enough that the soft skills of empathy, the skill of asking great questions and listening and tailoring, that is the air too. So but you need to be able to ask questions, and then as you teach the consumer, you need to be able to leverage technology is the way to teach the consumer. So I can't emphasize enough that to make this decade better than the last decade, we need to be better leaders, better listeners. We need to be better at using technology. But if we don't have the modern tech stack, and we don't have the data, and we don't have the best presentation, and we don't have the right CRM. And again, guys, the best CRM is the one that the two of our companies integrate with. I'll put a link to our website, to our partner page, and it's true. Like it's true. And here's why it's true, because this is an era of integrations, and if companies haven't integrated with us, doesn't mean there's some up and comers that haven't got it done yet. And we have 20 companies that are going through the process.
Yep.
But if companies don't have great integrations, you can't deliver that modern mortgage experience.
Well,
and you can't get to where you need to.
Let me add to that. So if you guys have ever heard me speak on stage, I often say the phrase Lego tech. What do I mean by Lego tech? If you go and buy, I have a Lego set that I bought my son when he was 2 years old. And now I bought him a new one. He's 9 years old. That's 7 years have passed. And guess what? Every single Lego piece from 7 years ago is still fitting with the things that I bought today. That's called Lego tech. It means in your world, if you have a tech stack that is not integrated together, the one that's siloed out, you got to replace or replace the others that integrate with that one. They all have to communicate. That's Lego tech. You have to look at your technology today like Legos. If they don't fit together, you are going to have trouble getting adoption, utilization, success, optimization, maximization, all of that. You're going to miss the mark a little bit on all of those. Yes, it can be hard. You're looking at a technology like, oh, this seems like it's the best fit. But if it doesn't integrate with your tech stack, make sure you get them to integrate, but don't just get an integration done and be like, all right, they're now talking to each other. They have to integrate the way that's going to create maximum results for you. So my point is this.
It needs to integrate in a way that it's going to allow you to anticipate the needs
Yes.
of the borrower and deliver the right presentation, convertible presentation at the right time. So there's a higher standard.
Yeah.
Than there was. It's not again, hear me guys. It's not about automating the loan manufacturing from the time I take the app to the time I'm funding it. Guys, it's about measuring, am I doing this in a way that I can anticipate the needs of the consumer and be the lender for life?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that's it. Like when we're talking about the ultimate tech stack today, it's technology that works together with other technology that's suited to accomplish your goals and be able to anticipate exactly where, hey, we're going to say where the puck is going, right? That's kind of what we're talking about. We're talking about that on the borrower side, but also when it comes to technology, and I know we're in the production section and growth and revenue driving. That's what Sales Guru and Mortgage Coach are all about. But your technology should also communicate with some of your other operational technologies. They should. I mean, you want a team that's cohesive, right? And that works well together, and that systems can just grab information and fill out as much as possible on behalf of your team and your consumer, of course. So it's so important to think about your technology as Lego tech. If it doesn't fit well together, guys, just don't do it. You will create really extra work for you and miss out on the big opportunities. So
Alex, you mean I have to get rid of this?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, that's my favorite way to talk to people. That's
Yeah,
that's
I'm
why I
gonna do
talk to
business like this.
marketing now. Where did you get that?
Nebraska Furniture Mart. I paid like
Oh.
$100 for it too, just
Oh,
because I love it.
it.
It's my
Is
prop.
is that a real, like, that's the size of the phones that's
No,
what-
it's way bigger.
okay, got it. That's
Yeah.
way bigger.
I have some real ones. In
Do
my
you?
house. I have a library.
This is
Oh,
what I
yeah.
would
Cool.
tell people. Are you doing social media? Like some people still think this is how you have to like
Oh, I love that.
when it's all in one,
See, we need
Sorry.
that on stage. That's
Yeah,
beautiful. I
yeah.
like that.
We might need a link to
And
get some of
and
those.
fax machines and that.
So real quick, guys, I do want to remind everybody, while we've got a few more key concepts to go through, we would love to do some Q&A. So if you've got some specific questions around your tech stack or anything, you want to ask about what are the best scripts to call realtors, we'll get your answers in. So whether you're watching this right now on Facebook Live, I'm watching your comments. And if you're in the Zoom community, put your questions down below.
Hey, Dave, real quick, before we go on the next kind of phase, we should also talk about Modern Mortgage Summit, Modern Real Estate Summit coming up on June 8th. I think it's a great opportunity because we're going to have some of the best innovators in the industry speaking to all of you about what they're doing here, how they're anticipating, how they're integrating, how they're doing all of these things, how they've re-envisioned themselves. And so the morning, it's one event, you pay for one ticket and you get to go to both events this time. So morning, we're going to kick off at 8 a.m. and we'll do a few straight hours of mortgage talk with the best of the best again. And then at noon sharp PST is really when you want to have your real estate agents in with you. You want to be watching, and we've got individual tickets. You can buy a 30-day pass or a full 1-year pass. And then we also, just like before, have our branch passes and our influencer pass packs where you can buy 25 or 100 tickets to make sure that you get all your real estate agents armed with this same data to be a great, to be the best agent as well.
How many tickets have sold so far?
We're over 5,000 tickets so far.
Wow.
So what do we do about 10,000 tickets at the last one?
Yep, we were at about 10,000. So yeah,
So guys, this is going to be the most attended virtual event in the mortgage business.
Period.
And every person on that stage is a modern mortgage professional. They are a captain of the wealth team. They have tech stacks. They use Mortgage Coach. Many of them use Sales Boomerang. Everybody's going to have Sales Boomerang by the end of the year, because again, we live in a data world. And I do want to make sure we talk about anticipating and what we're working on.
And the tech stack in general, not just the two of us, but
Yeah,
what else is required. Yeah.
All right. So Todd, where should people go again? Remind everybody.
I think
modernmortgagesummit.com.
All right, cool. All right. Any other questions or comments before Alex and I roll on?
No, you guys are crushing
Rolling.
it. I mean, I got a page of notes already, so I'm excited.
So what do you want to cover next?
Well, I think since we're talking about the ultimate tech stack, let's just show this for just a second. But really, let's talk about the tech stack and what it takes and where things are going. Look, this is a glimpse at the future, right? Between Mortgage Coach and Sales Boomerang, we are inventing, with all of your help and feedback and questions and ideas, because we are listeners to the industry. Together, we are building modern lending, period. And this is a concept into that future view where you can turn your database into your own personal loan search engine. But guess what you're actually searching for? Not the loans you can do, but the value you can offer. Look at the searches. The search isn't, how can I do 10 loans today? Who can I make $5,000 from today? That's not what the search is. It says, how can I reduce somebody's mortgage by 10 years, right? How can I reduce somebody's payment by $200? How can I help somebody take $50,000 out of their house? That's not how many loans can I do? It's how well can I serve my industry, my community, my people, my customers, my database. That's what this search is for. And that is the anticipation. I'm anticipating the needs of my customers by finding value for them without them asking me to help them do a mortgage, right? I am finding the value for you. That's the idea.
Yeah, guys, this is going to have searches where we will, once we have this whole platform built out with data and presentation, we're going to know who can save money, who can pay off their house faster. Like, I love this, who could cut their mortgage by 10 years. Who, if you're, again, the way we're building out, leveraging data, leveraging presentations, you'll be able to punch this in and be able to look at who can optimize their debt, where you know their car loans, their credit cards, all of this data, it's in your platform, and you can just mine for strategic opportunity. Right now, I asked Bill Dallas, I'm preparing for an interview with Bill next week. Anybody who knows Bill Dallas, if there's any questions you want me to ask him, put them in comments or private message me, and I'll add those to my questions with Bill. But I asked Bill, what percentage of consumers do you think are currently set in unoptimized debt structures? They're either over lending and they don't have the most efficient borrowing structure, or they're under lending. There's a lot of people that have their home paid off and they're financially struggling. Like, they own their house free and clear, but they're not achieving their financial freedom point. They're not looking at a reverse mortgage, but they're not looking at other ways that they can have the right lifestyle with their things. So he thinks over 50% of consumers do not have optimized debt structures.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, as Mr. Mortgage Coach, and seeing how many times you can look at, like a Josh Metal can look at someone's debt, like the interview I did with Josh, one of his guys a while ago, and actually turn into, like $1 million in net worth by restructuring their debt. I personally think 80% of people are in unoptimized debt structures. So if it's true, if it's 50%, guys, what we can do with the search engine is amazing.
Yes. Yeah. And so if we keep going and we keep talking about the tech stack itself, and not just the Sales Boomerang Mortgage Coach part of it, the part of the tech stack that's important. Yeah, we can stop sharing this and do a little more chatting here. The tech stack itself needs to include. We talked about point of sale earlier. You need point of sale, but I'm going to drive it further. Okay. The point of sale has to get to a place, and you need to be looking at partners that are getting there or will be offering this. Get to a place where your consumer has an option. You just used the loan search engine concept, and we're building an automated alert search engine where it's going to, you just say what kind of things you want to be able to offer your clients, and the system will find them for you without you even searching them. But let's just say you just put into the system, who has $50,000 or more in tappable equity, so I can help them maybe make some investments in this environment and help them out, reduce costs, whatever it is, right? When you get that, and the presentation is created automatically, when you deliver that presentation inside the point of sale that's attached to the presentation, I'm talking about the ultimate tech stack right now, okay? This is the ultimate experience. As a consumer, I need options. I need to say, you know what? I got this. I don't need to speak to another loan officer. I don't need to speak. If I can fill out everything on my own, choose all my options on my own, I see this beautiful presentation, I feel confident. I like this option right here. You showed me before. I like column number 3 the best. Apply. I go through the process, and the ultimate tech stack will allow me to get through the entire process if I want to, without having to speak to another person, if I want to. Now, remember, we're talking about the ultimate. And look, you're all hearing this right now, and you're probably screaming at me, possibly even cursing me for saying, how dare you say that? You're trying to replace us. No, that is not the case at all, okay? Online internet, okay, shopping did not replace retail. It did not, because we have experiences we want to have in the physical world with physical retail. But I have an option. I have an option to go into a store or not go into a store. We need to get to a place here, and it's happening, guys, just so you know, it's happening. We need to have the option to give the consumer, would you like to do this on your own? Would you like me to walk you through it? That's it. It's not replacing you. It is giving the consumer an option to say, hey, I love working with Todd. He gives me an option. I like to speak with Todd through the entire process. My son wants to just do it all on his own, but I'm sending him to Todd because Todd gives me that option. I trust Todd. Todd is my financial friend. He's been there for me. He's advising me. He's always helped me make the best decisions. And so as my kids try to figure out what they need to do with their home, I'm sending him to Todd because Todd will give them the option of doing it automatically or doing it with him. That is an option. So in the ultimate tech stack, when you're talking about point of sale, you need to understand their roadmap. Okay, hear me now. This is important. Understanding the roadmap of your point of sale system is going to be key. At what point, Mr. or Mrs. Partner, is my borrower going to be able to go through this process without having to talk to my team physically, unless they really need something? You want to know when that's happening. You want to choose the partner that has that on the horizon and or is already testing it. Okay, you want that kind of, again, talking about the ultimate tech stack. Okay, the next part of the ultimate tech stack is the marketing automation. Okay, when we're talking about the ultimate tech stack, if your current partners, if your current systems don't have the ability to automate the conversation with the consumer in different ways, not just email, not just text, but a three-dimensional approach to the different channels that your consumers are living in, that is a miss. So ultimate tech stack requires ultimate automation. Okay.
So, hey, wait, real quick. Can I ask, because help me understand what a 3D approach is. So what else is that going to include for those of us who don't know that?
Okay, great. So we're talking about text, we're talking about email, we're talking about social, right? We're talking about phone, and we're talking about voicemail. That this is important.
And omni-channel, guys, right down.
That's correct.
Omni-channel and your in-person experience, all of those integrate.
100%. That's all of that. And yeah, the sixth dimension, it's not 3 dimension, it's 6 dimensions, is in person too. And something important, because people confuse voice with voicemail. When you're on the phone with somebody, it's not the same as the way you leave a message for someone. It's very important for people to understand that. If you want to get people to respond, you speak differently than when you're on the phone with a live human being. So how do you leave a message to get somebody to respond, to create curiosity, but with context, not just curiosity as in, hey, bet you don't know what happened to me today. Okay, what happened to you today? Has nothing to do with the context of the conversation, right? And so all of that can be and should be automated in some way. Okay, there's tech out there right now that can allow you to leave voicemails, call, text, email, use social, and schedule physical conversations. That's fully automated based on your rules, based on your best practices, based on what's most important to you and your audience. And so again, we're talking about the modern and ultimate tech stack, right? So we're talking presentation, information. Now we're talking about marketing automation and getting your consumer to go through the entire process as an option to complete their loan as an option, without too much human or zero human interaction. Do you want to share something?
Yeah, I want to show something. And I just want to remind you guys, like, this is the playbook that you need to constantly remind yourself. This is where the puck's going in the world. Right now, everybody's got lots of platforms, and you need to unify that. We need to unify that. So that's get the data into your CRM so that it can be sales boomerang powered,
Yeah.
mortgage coach powered. Also platforms like HomeBot
Yes.
is a great, like, if you could get that consumer into that platform where they're getting value and they're managing wealth. Another thing, like, this is going to come out in my interview with Bill Dallas next week, but he's going to really make a case that we want to get a consumer to sign an agreement. Like, we want to create a client for life. We want to make sure that we've communicated what we're going to deliver to that consumer, and that we actually want them to sign an engagement agreement. So you have an engaged. I'm going to unpack that more. So that's not necessarily a tech strategy, but that is a sales process strategy. So stay tuned. We're going to hear more about what Bill Dallas has in mind when it comes to, he wants someone to actually sign an engagement letter that, hey, you're my lender for life. And that means X. I'm giving you all the authority to have the data you need, the presentation you want, and to contact me when I can optimize things.
Yeah.
And guys, and there will be a day, and I want you to walk everybody through what it means when you say to schedule your next.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to talk about that. Yeah. So I'm gonna get the scheduling.
What did you ask, Dave? To schedule what?
He talks a lot about scheduling the next loan.
Scheduling.
So like when you close a loan, your schedule and how technology can help you schedule the next loan.
Yeah. And what Bill is talking about is really the concept. Okay, so everybody on this call and everyone that's going to be watching the recording, you often say, probably not often, you probably say it every day somewhere in your head, and for the last decade or two, you've been saying this, customer for life. You guys have been saying that. We've been saying that. A lot of industries say that. However, we now, modern thinking about that statement is to flip that script, okay? It's how do I be, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Borrower, how do I become your forever lender? How do I become your financial friend? Like what would you expect from a financial friend that you can trust for the rest of your life? What would you like to see from me? How can we be your forever lender? Because guess what? If you are their forever lender, if you are their financial friend, they are your customer for life. So instead of making it in your putting the spotlight on you and going, hey, I want you to be my customer for life. That's saying, I want you to buy from me forever. Instead of that, say, hey, I want you to choose me as your provider for life. Choose me as your provider. That's flipping the way you think about things, right? And so you won't try to convince someone that you're great. You're going to try to get someone to see your greatness. Does that make, like, do you hear the difference in that? Instead of convincing you're great, let somebody see your greatness and let them choose you, right? That's, again, we talked about this last night at dinner. If everyone remembers seeing the movie Hitch, okay? In Hitch, Will Smith is teaching, I forget the other guy's name, is teaching,
Kevin?
Yes, Kevin, yeah, is teaching Kevin that when you, at the end of the date, when you go in for the kiss, you don't go all the way in for the kiss. You go a certain distance and stop. It's up to the other person to come in and meet you there. Right now, we're all totally leaning in for the kiss. We're like, come on, I want you to be my customer for life. And they need to lean in. If once they lean in, weigh in is buy-in, right? When they weigh in to the relationship, they buy into the relationship. And so it's very important. So I love that you brought that up. But going back to the tech stack, and I'm going to go into the scheduling thing in a second.
Alex, real quick on that, what I've been telling loan officers is when you're reaching out to your database or your agents and you guys haven't been, because for whatever reasons, it's like a booty call. So don't booty call your database where you haven't been loving on them or you haven't used social to like or comment. You've got to love on them a little bit before you just do the booty call.
Yeah.
So quit booty calling.
I like that. That's a great analogy. Because it makes the other person feel like you're only using me. You're just using me. Yeah. And that's I love that analogy. I'm gonna start using the booty call analogy. I think I'm making a t-shirt that says don't booty call your
Well, I think I have a
partner.
t-shirt with financial friends with benefits.
Yes, I have that for sure. I'll wear that tomorrow.
I love it. Good.
That's going to be up on the store. Okay, so going back to the tech stack, ultimate tech stack, and I know we're trying to leave some time for Q&A. Ultimate tech stack, the next piece of it. Quick rundown for those that don't remember. presentation, information, giving the person an option to do it on their own or with someone, automating the communication at the best, marketing automation possible to enhance the opportunities of reaching someone. The next thing, this is so important, is having a technology that connects you and the realtor and unifies your purpose together. Okay. You mentioned HomeBot, Dave. I love it. I agree with it 100%. That is a great tool that connects the agent and the lender and the consumer. And now you have a tribe, you have a village that's working on the consumer's needs together, anticipating, right? Potentially anticipating the needs of the consumer. So that is one great technology. The other one, again, I'm sitting here, so I have to explain that Sales Boomerang is another unifier of agents and lenders. We are able to ingest the realtor's information along with the lender's information and invite both to talk to the consumer when the time is right to anticipate what their needs are, right? So HomeBot, Sales Boomerang are part of the ultimate tech stack in uniting the agent and the lender. Very, very important moving into the future of modern lending, that there's no difference between you, the agent, you, the lender, or you, the mortgage advisor, in working with a mutual database. Like there's no difference. You guys are in it together. There's no separation. That's why Keller Mortgage is having such success, because it's cohesive branding. The messaging is united. And so that helps when you're not having like contradictions.
And I want to make sure everyone heard what was just said, because this is pivotal to building out that tech stack. Is you need to build, like I said, data, presentations, integrations. But remember, Captain of the Wealth team is thinking about, I'm managing the database for real estate agents. I'm managing the database for financial planners. I'm managing the database for CRMs. If it's like we are building tech to make the loan officer the single most valuable advisor in America.
Yes.
Like there's millions of referral-based financial advisors in America, but the mortgage professional can be the most valuable. But you've got to have that database. You got to have that platform. You got to have the data. You got to have the presentation, so that you meet with a CPA or a financial planner. You can make the case that if you put your database in my database, you're going to have more customers, and your customers are going to be more financially fit.
Yes.
They're going to their financial well-being will be better met in my platform. So every executive on this call, here's the deal. If you are in a modern tech stack, if you've institutionalized it within your organization, your loan officers will have less price exceptions. Like we're talking many basis points, millions of dollars, depending on the size. It can be millions of dollars a month, depending on the size of your platform. Your loan officers will convert. They'll go from credit report to loan. They'll have more conversion. They'll be more successful at getting referrals from realtors, CPAs, and financial planners. So this is the pivot. It's all around, it's data. We want realtors' data. We want the captain of the wealth team's database underneath a modern mortgage platform.
Yeah, and this is, and look, trademark pending on this next phrase. We want frictionless financing. That's really where you want to get to, right? A frictionless financing experience. And that's mortgage, but it's more than mortgage, right? How can we have a frictionless financing experience in auto and insurance?
Frictionless, auto, optimized. Can we describe what we're doing in the auto business yet, or is that?
I can mention it. Let me mention the scheduling, and then I can mention the auto. So we just talked about the ultimate tech stack in that, we covered the important points of where you need to start pushing your partners, guys. The reason we're talking about the ultimate tech stack is it's going to be you that makes them innovate. When you start asking for these things, where is this? Where is this automation? Where is this frictionless financing concept with my consumer can go through the process with or without an originator, but doesn't replace you. It makes you more of an advisor. You're going to advise, right? You just got this. You like this presentation. You like this one. Hey, would you like me to do it with you on your own? Right? You're actually adding value. So we just talked about connecting the realtor and the lender. So all of that's we just discussed. Part of the ultimate tech stack is where we're trying to drive the industry. Not being from the industry until 2016, I have these virgin ideas, okay? Completely untainted by the industry itself and everything that's happened before I got here. And so my question from a very early time in the space was, why are we all waiting for things to happen to be able to engage with our customer? Why are we waiting? I did this in I have a recorded presentation in California where I'm doing this presentation, and I talk about the future of lending should be like the experience with a mechanic. And people are like, what do you mean with an experience with a mechanic? Well, when I take my car in to get an oil change, at the end of the experience, my mechanic schedules my next oil change. You know why? Because they know for a fact I'm going to need it. Like it's a fact. And when I used to interview people and say, what are the chances that the loan you're doing for someone today is the last loan they'll ever do in their life? And they're like, 0 chance. I mean, maybe a 1% depending on their age, but probably 99.9% of people will do something with their mortgage, unless it's the final mortgage that they're doing for themselves. 99% of people, there's going to be another transaction. So I kept thinking, wait a minute, if we know there's going to be, we know for a fact, 99.9% fact that there will be another one, why aren't we scheduling it? And people are like, well, how do you know the date? How are you going to be able to schedule a time? Time out. My mechanic doesn't tell me to come back on June 1st. My mechanic says come back after 5,000 miles. That's not a time. That's an event. That's a purpose. That's a reason, right? It's not scheduling for a date. It's scheduling for a specific event, for a specific result. If you don't come back in 5,000 miles, your engine will stop. It's up to you. You don't have to come back, right? So guess what? They changed the interior of my car. They put that little nasty sticker in there, and I follow it like gospel. Okay. I literally drive past 25 different mechanics. And when the time comes, where do I go? To my mechanic. Think about that for a second. Think about the metaphor there in the mortgage industry. We all think people are shopping. There's thousands of people, thousands of lenders that anyone can go to. There's literally dozens of mechanic shops that I drive past every day. But when I see it's 5,000 miles, I drive past all of them to that one guy that said to come back to him when the time is right. That is scheduling. Psychologically, that is where the mind, the human being loves to be. It's called the path of least resistance. Us humans don't like to think about what we have to do. We like to know that we're going to do what we've planned to do. That's it. So we can let it go. We can focus on the thing that brings us joy and fun in this moment. So I don't have to think about where I'm going, right? Think about scheduling your trip. If you're doing it last minute, tickets are more expensive. Hotels may be sold out. You don't do that. You schedule in advance. Then you look forward to it. You look forward to that event. And so in today's world, I just want you guys to know this. We are already able to help you schedule the next loan with your consumer today, but it's not automated. It's not completely frictionless. There's still a process. And until we bake it out, which by the end of this year, early next year, it will be frictionless. It will be automated, where you will literally finish a loan. And because we know with 99.9% chance the next loan is coming, you schedule the next loan. And the next loan is always better than the current one. There's some advantage, some value. Now, could things happen? Think about that for a second. Could you get an oil leak and have to go to the mechanic earlier? Of course. Could the market shift and people get to their goals faster? Of course. Is there life events and tragedies or things that change people's lives? They need to restructure the destination, the purpose when you get that oil change. Absolutely. And you will have those insights too. We see life events. We see what's happening with people's lives, and you can redirect. Okay. And so what the future of modern lending is, there will be very little guessing of when you're talking to your customer next. You will know, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Borrower, you said what was important to you is to be able to take $50,000 out of your house. That's the most important part for you about this loan, because you have kids that are getting ready for college and you aren't equipped to pay for their financing all the way. And so you wanted to know when you had 50,000 in tappable equity, you're there right now. You scheduled that. It's been scheduled. And guess what? You guys know the pizza tracker from Domino's that basically says, hey, it's in the oven. Hey, it's being boxed up. And we're all like, ooh, that means my pizza is coming. Guess what? The communication you have with your borrowers is going to be, hey, it looks like you're about 6 months away from hitting your goal. Oh, looks like you're in a good place with rate. Looks like you're in a good place with equity. We should be all set in the next month or so. It's just giving them updates on where they are until they reach the goal of their next loan. And there's no selling, there's no trying to explain it, because the consumer was part of the decision of saying, I want to take 50,000 out of my house. I scheduled this. Hey, Mr. Mechanic, we agree on 5,000? Yes, we agree on 5,000. I'm out. We're good to go.
And I want to say one more thing, and then I do want to open it up for Q&A if the audience has anything, or Todd and Deborah. But think about this. You know, the American dream is owning your home, and it's for some people it's owning your home free and clear, and for some people it's having enough money in the bank to where paying off your mortgage is a strategic financial planning decision. So he just laid out something, and again, I'll call it a primary need that people would have.
Mhm.
The guys moving up and then getting to that point where you hit your freedom point and you're in your dream house. That's what everybody wants. Like, I
Mhm.
want to be in my forever house,
Mhm.
and I want to be in a point where paying that off, it's either paid off and I'm in my dream house, or I have enough money that paying it off is a strategic plan.
Yeah.
Guys, we can track that. Like where the world is going, we can help them go from their first home to that second move up home to maybe that third one is the dream home, but maybe it's the fourth one that's the dream home. But we can track that. And so when you're meeting with someone, by the way, maybe the dream is a home with a second home. Well, then we'll put that in that track. Or maybe it's a home, a second home, and 2 investment properties. Guys, these are all tracks that we can put into our CRMs, into our platforms. And if you have data and you have presentation, you could literally help people achieve whatever their American dream is faster and more efficiently. So Todd, any questions come in? Anything you want to make sure we hit?
Yeah, I see a question right there. Yeah, so Ron is saying that most of this tech is designed for enterprise. It's very hard to argue that statement. That's true. I can speak on behalf of Sales Boomerang. Mortgage Coach already operates in an environment.
Yeah, we are one of the, of the best of breed tech platforms.
Yeah.
We figured out how to do it, and we're trying to come up with something with Boomerang so we can bring the Boomerang into Mortgage Coaches.
Well, we're letting the cat out of the bag here just a little bit, but we are actually going to have, because of this partnership, where's the benefit of this partnership beyond information presentation? It's actually finally Sales Boomerang is going to be in a position to offer notifications to brokers and individual loan officers that are using Mortgage Coach. That's the only place we're going to be offering this. But it needed to happen like this because there's the infrastructure that Mortgage Coach has to be able to support the broker and the individual loan officer that we at Sales Boomerang never had. That's the beauty of this relationship. 1 + 1 = 10 for you guys, because we will be offering these notifications to those Mortgage Coach coaches and customers. So Ron, to your point, I would love to see more tech institutions be able to offer a broker and loan or an individual loan officer solution. But I got to tell you, the challenge becomes the infrastructure, because all of us can do it. Every single technology company in this space can offer individual services, but it's the infrastructure to support each one of those individuals. And those that have tried and didn't create the support have failed miserably and created a really bad taste for people. That is not something that we personally ever wanted to do and create a bad taste. We wanted to get to a place where we could offer and support. And I am encouraging, for anyone that's listening that's in the tech space or this, and I will say this off of the stage too, I'm encouraging everyone to find a way to do this for individual loan officers and brokers, is to find that way, but it's going to come from infrastructure or partnering with someone that's already got that in place. So Ron, great question.
Yeah, Deborah, anything you want to ask or say before Todd, helps close it out and ask any last questions?
I just put a comment in here for everyone to look at the post that I made yesterday with applying the same, shift when you look at your social media feed, that your social media, some of us need to have a perspective change that it's an employee that's working for you. It's the new digital shift era. It's people aren't going to drive to your office building to see if the lights are on. What they do now is they surf the web, and when they go to your social feed, they're going to immediately make some judgments. And if they don't see that you have a presence, like maybe you haven't made a post in a couple of years, they create these stories in their head. And how else can you control the narrative unless you are consistently posting to show your lights are on in the building? So look at it as you just have to write the check. It's like an employee that's working for you, or it's the old office lease, rent that you're paying just to prove that people who drive by, because again, they're not looking for you on billboards or even brick and mortar anymore. So don't let your social game get left behind, and Plug and Play SM can help you with that.
Right on to that, Deborah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Todd, any closer questions?
We're at the tip of the hour, so I'm sure that most people are wondering what the time frame is for that integration for individuals. I don't know if that's something you guys can speak to yet.
No, man, we're not gonna.
We'll say 2025.
I'm sure we were supposed to mention that in public, but
That's why I said you guys we're let the cat out of the bag here. We're working on that. We're truly
All right.
working on it.
well, our mantra is no borrower left behind.
That's right.
And we also want to leave no loan officers left
Correct.
behind, no profits for the industry left behind.
Yeah.
and no equity for families left behind.
That's right.
So that mantra of no borrower left behind. So we're coming for you individual loan
We are.
officers
We are.
to do the best that we can with data and presentation so that you can be the best you can be. But you know, there's a lot to deploying technology, to integrating technologies. And you know, it's never going to be, you know, enterprise is always going to have more integration opportunities.
Yeah, I think that's it. So the bottom line is this, I think kind of as we wrap up, I mean, you sort of said we have to re-envision, you as a loan officer have to re-envision who you are. You've got to look at your current reality. And I think that Dave and Alex, you guys did a great job of letting us know over the next few years where the tech stack is heading for all of us. And I think you've got to start thinking now about how are you going to build your process, your conversations, how are you going to be scheduling that next loan with your clients so that as your tech stack, wherever you work, evolves, that you have already been thinking through it so that you're not caught behind, right? Because what happens is we already know the Rockets of the world, they're already doing these things that we need to be doing as well. And I love the mission that you guys have. I just love you nailed it, right? No loan officer left behind really is what it boils down to. And this is going to be a tough year. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of people in our community already suffering from just the change of the industry not being able to shift. So this is a shift that was just laid out for us over the last hour. So I think it's just a great opportunity for everyone to really just spend a little time thinking on what we just heard and figure out how we can be prepared and start really building this into our scripting and our presentations now.
Yeah, and I want to just closing thought from you guys. We're here to serve you. So if you have questions, put them in comments. If you're watching the recording of this, we're going to be having more conversations to make sure that every mortgage coach, you have the leadership training. So you've got the scripts, we've got Renee Rodriguez to teach influence and empathy. I'm bringing in the best authors to make you a better human being. I think that is the art. And then there's the science. And all of the most successful loan officers have the right, and lenders have the right balance of art and science. As human beings, we're the artists. Our eye contact, how we show up, how we ask questions, the energy that we have, that's our art. But guys, we're the science, and we want to help you balance that, make the best art and science together to get the most success. So Todd, anything else? Are we ready to close it out?
That's all I've got. I like I say, that was the most notes I've taken in quite a while. I think it was just a great opportunity to refresh and rethink about where we're heading.
Well, I look forward to having you guys on the Modern Mortgage Summit, June 8th. Make sure if you haven't signed up, sign up for that. We want to have over 10,000 loan officers signed up. We want to get thousands of people watching that concurrently.
Yes.
And anyways, thanks for your time. If you have questions, put them in comments. Give this the like if you got value, and share it with your mortgage friends. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Guys, see ya.
See ya.